power within you. Let's be honest, there's something different about you. You've probably felt it your whole life, even if you couldn't quite explain it. You've walked into rooms and felt eyes follow you. You've spoken and people listened, not just to your words, but to the energy behind them. You've remained silent, and yet your presence was still loud. That's not by accident. That's not coincidence. That's a rare kind of power, a rare kind of energy that most people don't understand, and quite frankly, can't handle. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out, to shift the atmosphere, to carry light in a world often clouded by darkness. Your very presence demands attention, not because you crave it, but because your soul is aligned with something greater. You have a frequency that doesn't match the crowd. You're tuned into something deeper, something most people can't even access within themselves. And because of that, you may have struggled with feeling out of place. Maybe you've been misunderstood, overlooked, or even rejected. But hear this loud and clear. There is nothing wrong with you. In fact, everything about you that's been labeled too much is exactly what makes you powerful. You are not broken. You're built differently. You carry wisdom that doesn't come from books. You speak truths that unsettle the shallow. You love deeply, think critically, and feel intensely. That kind of energy, authentic, raw, rare, doesn't come easy. And that's why it often feels like a burden. But it's not. It's your gift. See, rare energy isn't loud and showy. It's not about arrogance or ego. It's about authenticity. It's about walking into a space and bringing peace, power, and presence without even trying. It's about being so deeply rooted in who you are that you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. That's the kind of power that shakes people. That's the kind of power that changes lives. But not everyone will celebrate that. Some will be intimidated by it. Some will distance themselves from you because your energy reveals theirs. Your light will expose the areas in their life they've been avoiding. Your truth will confront their denial. Your growth will challenge their comfort zones. And rather than rise with you, they may try to pull you down. Let them. Because the ones who can't handle your energy were never meant to carry your vision. You are here for something greater. And your energy, though rare, isn't accidental. It's your compass, your protection, your calling. So don't shrink. Don't apologize. Don't dim your light. The world doesn't need another copy. The world needs you, fully, unapologetically, and powerfully you. Your rare energy isn't the problem, it's the answer. The sign. 1. You make people nervous without trying. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift instantly? Not because you were loud, not because you demanded attention, but simply because of your presence. People looked up, conversations paused, eyes followed you. That's not in your head, that's real. Your energy does something to people. It activates them, it confronts them, it wakes something up inside them. And for some, that's terrifying. When you carry a rare energy, it's not about what you do. It's about who you are. You don't have to try to stand out. You just do. Your frequency vibrates higher than the average person's. You walk with quiet confidence, and your presence exposes what others are trying to hide. Fear, insecurity, inauthenticity. They may not understand why they feel uneasy around you, but it's because your energy is a mirror. And mirrors make people uncomfortable when they haven't faced themselves. This nervousness people feel around you isn't because you're intimidating, it's because you're real in a world full of masks. And the truth is, most people aren't ready to be seen that clearly. Your energy doesn't allow for surface-level games. It demands honesty, depth, and presence. And for those who are still hiding behind personas or living in denial, that can feel threatening. They may avoid you without knowing why. They may act defensive, cold, or even dismissive. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your presence triggered something unhealed in them. And that's okay. It's not your job to shrink so they feel comfortable. Your only job is to stay in alignment with who you truly are. Think about this. Lights don't ask permission to shine. They just do. And in doing so, they expose what's in the dark. That's your gift. You are a light. And your mere presence challenges others to either rise to meet you or retreat into their shadow. It was either way, that's not your burden to carry. You might have been told you're too much and too intense, or that you give off a weird vibe, but those are just labels people use when they don't have the language to describe the frequency you carry. Don't internalize their discomfort. Don't take it personally. Remember, not everyone is supposed to understand your energy. It's not meant for everyone. You were made to wake people up, to challenge the norm, to rattle the cages of comfort and mediocrity. So if your presence makes people nervous, that's just confirmation. Your energy is rare and it's working exactly as it should. So walk into rooms knowing that your presence is powerful. You don't need to change a thing. Let them feel whatever they feel. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here to be authentically you. And that alone is enough to shake the world. Sign 2, you feel things deeper than others. You've probably been told you're too sensitive. Maybe you've even tried to toughen up, to numb yourself, to stop feeling so much. But let me tell you something, your depth is not a flaw. It's not something to hide or fix. It's one of the strongest signs that you carry a rare energy most people can't even begin to understand. You feel everything, deeply, intensely, completely. You don't just hear people's words, you feel their emotions. You can sense their pain, their joy, their fear, even when they try to mask it. And that's because your soul operates on a different frequency. You aren't living life on the surface like most people. You're connected to the deeper currents of life, the ones most people are too distracted or too afraid to explore. You can walk into a room and instantly feel the emotional climate. If someone is upset, even if they're smiling on the outside, you pick up on it. If tension is in the air, you absorb it before anyone else notices. This is not just sensitivity, this is spiritual awareness. It's energetic intelligence. It's a form of empathy that goes beyond logic. It's your soul's ability to understand what's unsaid. But with this gift comes a challenge. Feeling deeply also means you hurt deeply. You get affected by things others shrug off. Violence on the news keeps you up at night. A friend's sadness becomes your own. Cruelty, injustice, loss, they cut you to the core. And while others might call you emotional, the truth is, you are alive on a level that most people have never experienced. Because of this, you might feel like you don't belong, like you're too emotional for this world. But listen carefully. You are not too emotional. The world has just grown too numb. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It's a strength that this world desperately needs. It allows you to connect, to heal, to love, and to create from a place of authenticity. You have a rare ability to hold space for others, to understand them without judgment. People feel seen by you, even if they don't know why. That's the power of your depth, but not everyone will appreciate it. Some will try to minimize it, mock it, or exploit it. That's why it's crucial to protect your energy, to set boundaries, and to never apologize for feeling. In a world that celebrates superficial strength, emotional depth is a quiet rebellion. And you, my friend, are the rebel the world needs. So own your sensitivity, embrace your empathy, feel it all, because through your feelings, you access the truth. And that truth is where your power lives. Your rare energy isn't found in how much you feel. It's found in your courage to feel when others have gone numb. Keep feeling, keep shining, keep being real. The world doesn't need more cold hearts. It needs more people like you. Sign 3. Small talk drains you. You've probably felt it in conversations, when someone starts talking about the weather, gossiping about someone else's life, or obsessing over surface-level topics that have no meaning or purpose. And as they talk, you feel your energy fading, not because you're rude or disinterested, but because small talk drains you. That's because you were never meant to live on the surface. Your soul craves depth. You don't want to talk about what everyone's wearing or what celebrity is trending. You want to talk about why we're here, what makes us grow, what the universe is trying to teach us. You're drawn to truth, transformation, and authenticity. You want to know what someone's struggling with behind their smile, what dreams keep them up at night, what pain they've turned into strength. That's the kind of connection your spirit desires. But most people aren't ready for that level of vulnerability. They stay on the surface because it feels safe. They hide behind small talk because it gives them a sense of control. And when someone like you enters their life, someone who speaks from the soul, listens with the heart, and doesn't care for pretense, it makes them uncomfortable. Because your very presence is an invitation to go deeper, and not everyone is ready for that journey. You've likely felt frustrated in relationships or social settings because you don't feel truly seen or heard. You walk away from conversations feeling empty, like something meaningful was missing. That's because your energy is rare, and rare energy doesn't connect through noise. It connects through truth. You may have even felt guilty for not enjoying casual interactions, for not being the life of the party, or for pulling away from environments that lack substance. But here's the truth. You're not boring, antisocial, or difficult. You're just wired for depth. And in a world that rewards distraction and surface-level connection, that makes you different, that makes you powerful. This is also why you thrive in one-on-one settings. You prefer quality over quantity. A single meaningful conversation fills you up more than 100 shallow ones ever could. You'd rather sit in silence with someone who's real than laugh for hours with someone who's pretending. You may feel like an old soul, someone who sees through the noise, someone who wants more than just interaction. You want connection, real, raw, unfiltered connection, and that's beautiful. But remember this, not everyone has access to the level you operate on, and that's okay. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to resonate deeply with the few who can meet you in the depths. So don't apologize for craving more. Don't dim your hunger for truth just to make others comfortable. Let the world chatter. Let them gossip. Let them play small. You stay deep, stay real, stay rare. Sign 4. People confide in you instantly. Have you ever wondered why strangers open up to you within minutes of meeting you? Why friends, family, even people you barely know, come to you with their deepest secrets, their traumas, their emotions? It's not just chance. It's not just because you're a good listener. It's because you carry a rare energy, a presence that feels safe, grounding, and non-judgmental. People can feel your spirit before they even understand you. They feel seen in your presence, even if you haven't spoken a word. That's because your energy doesn't come with an agenda. You don't look at people as problems to be solved or burdens to be tolerated. You hold space for them. You allow them to be who they truly are without needing them to perform, impress, or hide. And in a world full of fake smiles and hidden intentions, that kind of energy is a rare and healing gift. You might notice how often people say things like, "I don't know why I'm telling you this," or "I've never told anyone this before." That's not random, it's spiritual. Your soul radiates compassion, and your presence gives people permission to be human. They intuitively sense that you won't use their vulnerability against them. You won't mock their truth. You won't betray their trust. And because of that, they open up, they release, they heal. But here's the part most people don't talk about. Holding space for others can be draining, especially when your own energy isn't being poured into. When you become everyone's safe space, their dumping ground, their emotional outlet, it's easy to lose yourself in the process. You end up carrying their pain, their confusion, their sadness. You walk away from conversations feeling heavy, even if they feel lighter. That's the weight of being energetically gifted. That's why it's so important to set boundaries. Not everyone who comes to you deserves unlimited access to your energy. Not everyone who wants to talk is ready to grow, and not everyone who confides in you wants to change. They just want to release. But your energy isn't a garbage can. It's a temple. Treat it like one. This sign, being a magnet for confessions, for truth, for raw emotion, is a reflection of your emotional intelligence. But it's also a call for discernment. Just because you can carry others doesn't mean you should. Just because someone opens up doesn't mean you owe them your peace. Value your gift, but protect it. Know that your energy heals, but also remember, you deserve healing too. People trust you for a reason. You're real. You're grounded. You're rare. But never forget, you are also human. And you too deserve someone who holds space for you the way you hold space for others. So honor your light, but guard it wisely. You're not just a listener. You're a soul that brings people home to themselves. And that is sacred. Sign 5. You've been misunderstood most of your life. If you carry a rare energy, chances are you've spent much of your life feeling like an outsider. Not because you were trying to be different, but because you simply were different and the world didn't know how to respond to that. You were labeled as too sensitive, too intense, too quiet, or even too much. Teachers didn't understand your silence. Friends didn't understand your depth. Family didn't always know how to support your emotional world. And society? It's built to reward conformity, not uniqueness. So when you showed up with your rare energy, raw, real, and unfiltered, it didn't know what to do with you. So instead of embracing you, it misunderstood you. That misunderstanding likely created pain. You may have spent years trying to fit in, to shrink your spirit just enough to be accepted. You might have silenced your voice to avoid judgment. You wore masks, downplayed your gifts, or tried to act like everyone else, just to feel like you belonged somewhere. But deep down, you always knew you were never meant to fit a mold. You were meant to break it. You weren't misunderstood because you were flawed. You were misunderstood because you were rare, and rarity is always met with confusion before it's met with appreciation. Think about it. People fear what they don't understand. Your emotional depth challenged others to look at their own emotional emptiness. Your wisdom forced them to confront their ignorance. Your strength triggered their weakness. And rather than deal with that, it was easier for them to push you away or label you as different. But hear this clearly. Being misunderstood is often a sign that you're on the right path. You're not supposed to be understood by everyone. You're not here to make sense to the average mind. You're here to stand out, to awaken, to challenge, and to elevate the energy around you. And not everyone will be ready for that. Some of the most powerful souls in history were misunderstood, misjudged, criticized, but they didn't stop shining, and neither should you. Let go of the need to be understood. Start living in your truth, even if it means walking alone, because the more you accept who you are, the more you'll attract people who do understand you, your soul tribe, people who see your depth not as a problem, but as a treasure, people who won't just tolerate your truth, but celebrate it. Your rare energy doesn't need to be explained, it needs to be expressed. So speak your truth, walk your path, be the light, even when others choose to live in the dark. And the next time someone says, I don't get you, just smile and say, you're not supposed to. I'm not here to be understood, I'm here to be real. Sign 6. You see through people instantly. One of the clearest signs that you carry a rare energy is your ability to see through people instantly. It's not something you learned in a book, and it's not just common sense. It's energetic. It's intuitive. You don't just listen to what people say. You feel the truth behind their words. You notice the tone, the hesitation, the energy shift, the fake laugh, the unspoken pain. And in seconds, you know, they're not telling the full story. It's almost like you have a built-in radar that picks up on what others miss. Someone can be smiling and saying they're fine, and you'll feel the sadness hiding underneath. Another person can be praising you, but you'll sense their jealousy behind the compliment. This isn't you being paranoid. This is you being spiritually awake. Rare energy doesn't just flow, it perceives. It can see past the surface, past the mask, past the performance. You were gifted with deep discernment, and while that can feel like a blessing, it often comes with a burden. Because when you can see the truth, it becomes harder to tolerate the fake. You may find yourself feeling uncomfortable around certain people, even if they haven't done anything wrong on the surface. That's your energy sensing something misaligned. You might not be able to explain it, but you just know something's off. And almost every time, you're right. But this gift can be lonely, because once you've seen someone's true nature, it's hard to unsee it. You can't pretend you didn't notice the manipulation, the dishonesty, or the lack of authenticity. And while others may be fooled by charm, status, or words, you're not. You see what's real, even when it's inconvenient. This ability also makes it hard for others to lie to you. They feel exposed around you, even if you don't say a word. Your energy acts like a mirror, reflecting back to them who they really, not who they pretend to be. And some people hate that. They avoid you, not because you're wrong, but because they're not ready to face themselves. You've probably been called judgmental, cold, or distant, not because you are, but because you refuse to play along with falsehoods. You'd rather sit in truth than dance in illusion. You choose alignment over approval. That's rare, that's powerful. But with great insight comes great responsibility. Use your gift wisely. Don't expose people for the sake of being right. Use your discernment to protect your peace, not to control others. Let your intuition guide you, but stay grounded in compassion. Just because you see through people doesn't mean you have to carry their weight. At the end of the day, your ability to see through others isn't a curse, it's a compass. It protects you, it leads you, and it's one of the many signs that your energy is not just rare, it's divinely guided. Sign 8. You trigger people without trying. One of the most overlooked signs that your energy is rare is this: you trigger people without even trying. You walk into a room and suddenly someone is uncomfortable. You speak your truth and others get defensive. You set a boundary and people take it personally. But let's be clear, this is not a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of what they haven't healed. See, your very existence confronts people with what they've buried. When you speak boldly, they're reminded of their silence. When you pursue your purpose, they're reminded of their procrastination. When you move with discipline, it exposes their lack of commitment. You don't need to call them out, your life does. You might notice people pulling away from you, avoiding eye contact, or even gossiping behind your back. And you might wonder, what did I do wrong? The answer? Nothing. You simply showed up with unapologetic energy in a world that's addicted to pretense. That alone is enough to rattle those who are still wearing masks. You see, rare energy shines light in dark places, and light always irritates what's hidden. You didn't offend them. They were already offended by your existence before you even said a word. Your peace disturbs their chaos. Your confidence triggers their insecurity. Your clarity magnifies their confusion. But here's what makes you rare. You don't dim your light to make others feel better. You've outgrown that. You've learned that shrinking yourself won't save them. It'll only suffocate you. So you keep shining, even if it makes people squint, because you're not here to make others comfortable. You're here to walk in truth, embody authenticity, and lead with courage. And let's not forget, being a trigger isn't always negative. For the right people, your energy is a catalyst. It wakes them up. It inspires change. It lights a fire under the sun's ear potential. But for those who refuse to grow, it becomes a mirror they want to shatter. That's why your presence can either heal or haunt. It all depends on where someone is in their journey. So don't internalize other people's discomfort. Don't water down your wisdom. Don't apologize for your discernment. Let them be triggered. Let them feel what they need to feel. Because sometimes the discomfort you cause is the very nudge they need to grow, whether they admit it or not. Being a trigger simply means your energy carries weight. You move differently. You speak differently. You live differently. And the world notices, even when it pretends not to. So keep being bold. Keep setting boundaries. Keep standing in your power. Your energy may not be for everyone, but it was never meant to be. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to wake people up. And if your presence stirs something inside them, let it. Because the truth is, when your energy is rare, it will always shake what is fake. Sign 9. You are a magnet for the misunderstood and the broken. Another powerful sign that your energy is rare is this. You often attract people who are lost, broken, or misunderstood. You don't chase them, they're drawn to you. They sense something in your presence that feels safe, healing, and accepting. They come to you because your energy says, I see you, I understand you, I don't judge you. This isn't a coincidence, it's spiritual gravity. When your soul vibrates on a high frequency, those who are hurting or searching for light are instinctively pulled toward you. They may not even know why, but something in you makes them feel less alone. Your words reach the places in them that no one else touches. Your silence comforts them more than 1,000 noisy conversations. You become a safe haven, a lighthouse for the emotionally shipwrecked. But here's the thing. While this is a sign of your powerful presence, it can also be draining if you're not careful. Just because you can hold space for the broken doesn't mean you're responsible for fixing them. You can guide them, love them, support them, but you can't carry them. That's a lesson every rare soul must learn. Your rare energy isn't a hospital, it's a mirror. It reflects truth, it illuminates possibility, but it doesn't absorb other people's pain as its own. Empaths often forget this. They give and give until there's nothing left. They confuse being loving with being available to everyone. But being magnetic doesn't mean being a martyr. You attract the misunderstood because you yourself were once misunderstood. You've walked through shadows, questioned your worth, and wrestled with your own identity. So when someone else shows up carrying the same weight, you recognize the pain. You remember how it felt. That's why you listen deeply. That's why your energy feels like home to them. But boundaries are love too. Loving others doesn't require losing yourself. The ones who are truly ready to rise will respect your space and appreciate your energy. The ones who drain you will only take. And as a rare soul, you must discern between the two. It's a sacred responsibility to carry rare energy. You were not made to blend in with the world. You were made to shift it, to guide others, not carry them, to inspire them, not rescue them. So yes, you're a magnet for the misunderstood, but not because you're here to save them. You're here to remind them of their own light. You're here to show them that healing is possible, that wholeness is within reach, and that being different is not a curse, it's a calling. And as you walk boldly in your purpose, you'll continue to attract those seeking the very peace you fought to create within yourself. Just remember, protect your energy, share your wisdom, but always honor your own healing first. Because when your energy is rare, your light attracts both the seekers and the shadows, and both will come looking for you. Sign 10. You've stopped needing external validation. One of the final and most empowering signs that your energy is rare is this. You no longer seek external validation to define your worth. You've broken free from the exhausting cycle of needing applause, approval, or attention to feel seen. You've realized something most people never do, that self-worth is not a group project. While others chase likes, recognition, and compliments just to feel enough, you've learned to validate yourself. You've sat in silence, endured rejection, walked alone, and emerged with a truth that can't be shaken. You are already worthy. With or without recognition, with or without applause, you are complete. This shift is powerful, and it's what makes your energy so rare. People notice it. They may not understand it, but they feel it. You move with quiet confidence, not arrogance. You don't have to prove yourself. You're not loud, but your presence is strong. You don't chase attention. It finds you. Here's what happens when you no longer need validation. Your decisions become cleaner. You're no longer making choices to impress others or avoid judgment. You choose what aligns with your soul, even if no one claps for it. You walk away from people, places, and habits that once made you feel accepted, but now feel like a cage. Your peace matters more than public opinion. This doesn't mean you don't appreciate love or acknowledgement. It means you're not dependent on it. You can accept praise without attaching your identity to it. You can be misunderstood and still sleep peacefully at night because you're not performing for approval anymore. You're living for alignment. You've outgrown the need to be liked by everyone. You know that trying to please everyone is the fastest way to betray yourself. You don't mold yourself to fit rooms anymore. You bring your full self to the room, unapologetically. And if the room can't hold you, you leave without bitterness. This level of inner freedom is rare. It's threatening to some and liberating to others. People might call you too much or too distant, but that's only because they haven't met someone who's rooted in self-worth before. You are no longer waiting for someone to tell you you're good enough. You already know you are. This is not pride. It's spiritual maturity. Your energy is rare because you've stopped outsourcing your joy. You've taken your power back. You know who you are. You trust your intuition. You value solitude. You speak your truth, even when your voice shakes. And when someone tries to dim your light or question your worth, you don't argue. You simply shine brighter. Because nothing is louder than someone who is deeply at peace with themselves. So if you've stopped chasing validation and started living in truth, that's a rare, radiant power. Don't shrink from it. Stand in it. Because your authenticity isn't just powerful, it's magnetic. Sign 11. You protect your peace like a sacred space. One of the most underrated signs that your energy is rare is this. You fiercely protect your peace. Not just sometimes, not just when it's convenient, but consistently, intentionally, and unapologetically. You've come to understand that peace is not passive. It's a decision, a boundary, a form of self-respect. You no longer entertain chaos, drama, or people who drain your spirit. You don't have the patience for gossip, negativity, or shallow connections. Your energy is not available for conversations that feel fake or forced connections that don't align. And that's not arrogance, it's wisdom. In a world addicted to noise, your silence speaks volumes. While others are constantly plugged in, reacting, scrolling, and comparing, you've learned to unplug and recenter. You don't feel guilty for saying no. You don't apologize for not being accessible to everyone. You know that your peace is too expensive to be sacrificed for momentary comfort or fake connections. When your energy is rare, you begin to realize that not everything deserves your reaction. You no longer feel the need to respond to every insult, defend every decision, or correct every misunderstanding. Why? Because you know who you are. And when you know who you are, you don't have to prove it. You've learned that peace is power. It's not found in the absence of problems, it's found in the presence of purpose. It's knowing what drains you and having the courage to walk away from it. It's choosing solitude over shallow company. It's turning down the volume of the world so you can hear your soul again. You protect your peace by filtering what you allow into your space. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You're intentional about what you consume, who you allow in, and what energy you tolerate. You understand that energy is contagious, and why you guard yours like it's gold, because it is. When someone tries to bring drama into your life, you don't fight. You distance. When someone tries to provoke you, you don't react. You remain centered. That calmness isn't weakness. It's emotional maturity. It's spiritual discipline. It's the result of healing, growing, and doing the inner work. This kind of peace cannot be faked. It's not performative. It's not a facade. It's real, and it radiates. People feel it when they're around you. They may not always understand it, but they respect it. Your calm disrupts their chaos. Your presence shifts atmospheres. So yes, your energy is rare, because in a world that profits from your distraction, staying peaceful is a rebellion. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's essential. It's how you remain whole in a world that constantly tries to pull you apart. Your peace is your power. Guard it with everything you've got. Because when peace becomes your priority, your life transforms into something sacred, and that's exactly what makes your energy impossible to replicate. Sign 12. You keep leveling up quietly. The final, and perhaps most powerful sign that your energy is rare is this. You evolve in silence. You level up without seeking applause. You grow without needing validation. You transform without announcing every step. That quiet elevation, it speaks louder than any declaration ever could. In a culture that thrives on oversharing, where everyone posts their every move, their every win, and every next big thing, you move differently. You understand that real growth doesn't need a spotlight. It needs discipline. It needs intention. It needs privacy. Your energy is rare because you don't chase clout. You chase purpose. You're not interested in impressing the crowd. You're focused on becoming the person you were always meant to be. That kind of internal shift doesn't require an audience. It requires solitude, consistency, and faith. You know that not everyone deserves a front row seat to your evolution. Some people aren't clapping for you, they're competing with you. Some don't want to see you rise, they want to see you stay the same. And that's why you keep your moves sacred, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. When your energy is rare, you start realizing that the more silent your process, the stronger your progress. You let your results speak for you. You don't need to broadcast your next step, you just take it. You don't need to prove you've changed. You let your energy show it. And when you do reveal what you've been building, it's not for attention. It's confirmation of what you already knew. You're becoming unstoppable. You level up by healing silently, by working when no one is watching, by studying, praying, meditating, growing, and unlearning patterns that held you back. It's the kind of transformation that can't be captured in a post or explained in a sentence. It's lived, felt, embodied. People will look at you and think, yo. Your glow up happened overnight, but you know it came from nights of crying, grinding, journaling, fasting, reflecting, and showing up for yourself even when no one else did. That silent work, that's where the real elevation happens. You've mastered the art of moving in silence, not because you're hiding, but because you've learned that what's sacred should be protected. You don't need to advertise your next chapter, you just write it. So, if you've been growing behind the scenes, silently upgrading your mindset, energy, habits, and goals, know this: you're walking proof that your energy is rare. In a world full of noise, your quiet confidence is magnetic. In a world that rushes for attention, your stillness is powerful. Keep leveling up, quietly, consistently, powerfully. Because when the time is right, the world won't just see the new you. They'll feel it, and they'll know this energy can't be duplicated. Sign 13. You make people uncomfortable with just your presence. There's something about you, something unspoken, something deep. You walk into a room and suddenly the energy shifts. Not because you're loud, not because you're trying to take up space, but because your very presence challenges people. You make people uncomfortable. And that's not a bad thing. It's a powerful sign that your energy is rare. You see, your aura exposes the things others are trying to hide. Your confidence reflects their insecurity. Your self-awareness reminds them of their own inner chaos. Your calmness disrupts their need for drama. And your authenticity shines a light on their masks. You're not trying to make anyone feel inferior, but when someone hasn't done the inner work, your light can feel blinding. This discomfort isn't about arrogance. It's about truth. People can sense your depth. They can feel that you see through the surface, that you ask questions that matter, that you carry a certain weight of wisdom, not because you claim to be perfect, but because you've been through the fire and you've come out stronger, softer, wiser. Some people won't know how to receive your energy, so they'll misunderstand it. They might call you too intense, too distant, or too serious. But that's because they're used to shallow connections. When they encounter someone like you, someone who listens deeply, speaks intentionally, and moves with purpose, it rattles them. Your presence demands people to be real, to rise, to reflect, and not everyone is ready for that. Rare energy is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the most grounded. It's about walking into chaos and remaining centered. It's about standing firm in your values, even when it's not popular. It's about being kind but not naive, strong but not rigid, open but not unguarded. And that kind of presence, it can't be faked. It comes from experience, from healing, from choosing growth over comfort, truth over approval, and solitude over fake connections. You don't shrink yourself to fit in anymore. You don't pretend to be smaller just to make others feel comfortable. You've learned that your energy was never meant to be palatable to everyone. It was meant to awaken the ones who are ready and reveal the ones who are not. So if you've ever wondered why some people seem intimidated by you, why they act differently around you, or why they keep their distance, it's not always something you've done wrong. Sometimes it's because you remind them of who they're not yet ready to become. And that's okay. Your job isn't to dim your light. Your job is to shine unapologetically and let that light guide, challenge, and awaken the world around you. Your energy is rare. It was never meant to blend in. It was meant to transform. Sign 14. You have a calling that you can't explain. There's a pull inside you, a quiet voice, a knowing, a weight that rests on your heart, not in a burdensome way, but in a way that whispers, you were made for something more. You might not have the full picture. You might not even be able to explain it to others. But deep within you, there is a sense of purpose that refuses to be ignored. That's not coincidence. That's not imagination. That's calling. And when your energy is rare, you often feel this calling earlier and more intensely than most. It doesn't always make logical sense. You may feel drawn to serve, to create, to speak, to lead, to heal, to write, or to guide, but you don't know how or why. You just know you must. This kind of inner call doesn't come with a manual. It won't always be validated by your family, your friends, or even your mentors. In fact, people might tell you to be realistic, stick to what you know, or play it safe. But rare energy doesn't obey the status quo. It listens to something higher, something divine. This is why people with rare energy often feel like outsiders, like they don't belong to this world. Because in a way, they don't. They've been assigned to transform it, to uplift it, to challenge it. You've been sent to break generational cycles, awaken sleeping minds, and light the way for others. And that kind of mission doesn't come without resistance. You may feel torn between comfort and calling, between logic and intuition, between what makes sense to others and what makes your soul come alive. You may face isolation, rejection, setbacks, and delays. But here's the truth. Your calling, will never leave you. It will keep tugging at your spirit. It will keep showing up in dreams, in signs, in that deep ache that says, you're meant to build something eternal. This is the sacred frustration of the rare soul, to be capable of mu, yet feel invisible, to carry so much wisdom but be misunderstood, to want to serve but not yet know how. But don't rush the process. Rare energy needs to be cultivated in solitude. That's why you felt alone. That's why you've been separated. You're not behind, you're being prepared. Your story isn't random, your pain isn't wasted. Every detour, every heartbreak, every closed door, it's all part of your training. Your calling is being refined through fire. And when the time is right, you'll know exactly what to do with everything you've endured. So trust the pull, trust the calling. Even when you can't explain it to others, honor it. Because the world doesn't need more people who follow the crowd. The world needs more people who follow the call. Your rare energy was never meant to settle. It was meant to shift atmospheres and change destinies. Sign 15. You feel the weight of the world. You carry more than just your own emotions. You feel what others don't even say. You absorb energy from rooms, from conversations, from the collective consciousness of humanity. And sometimes it gets heavy, really heavy. This is not weakness. This is not oversensitivity. This is spiritual responsibility. When your energy is rare, you are not just living your own life. You are constantly tuned into the emotional frequency of the world around you. You feel the tension behind someone's smile. You sense the unspoken grief beneath someone's silence. You're the person who notices when someone's "I'm fine" doesn't match their energy. It can be overwhelming, can't it? It can feel like you're drowning in a sea of unspoken pain, carrying burdens that aren't even yours to carry. And yet you can't seem to turn it off. Because you were born with a heart that feels deeply, not just for yourself, but for humanity. You see injustice and it shakes you. You witness cruelty and it lingers in your soul. You observe the brokenness of this world and it creates a burning inside you to fix it, to heal it, to raise the vibration of it. That weight you feel, that heaviness in your chest when you see people suffering, it's not a curse, it's confirmation. You were designed to be a healer, a guide, a bringer of light. Your rare energy is a lighthouse in the middle of spiritual storms. And lighthouses don't judge the waves. They stand strong so others can find their way home. But here's the truth no one tells you. Even lighthouses need maintenance. Even the most spiritually attuned souls must rest, reset, and protect their own light. Just because you feel everything doesn't mean you have to carry everything. You must learn how to hold space for others without losing yourself in their pain. You must learn how to channel the weight you feel into powerful healing. Ling action, not self-destruction. The weight of the world is real, but it doesn't have to crush you. It can build you. It can shape your purpose. It can awaken your deepest gifts if you allow it. Your empathy is your power. Your sensitivity is your superpower. But don't let the darkness of this world dim your soul. Instead, rise up. Be the kind of person who sees what's broken and chooses to heal, not harden. Be the kind of soul who feels deeply but lives boldly. You are not weak because you cry. You are not soft because you care. You are strong because you love in a world that often forgets how. And that, right there, is what makes your energy so rare. You don't just exist in the world. You feel it, you hold it, you elevate it. The weight you carry isn't random, it's a sign. You were born to make a difference, and the world is already better, simply because you're in it. You are rare for a reason. Now protect your light. If you've seen yourself in these signs, let me tell you something that the world often forgets to say. You are not ordinary, you are extraordinary. Your energy, your presence, your very existence carries a divine frequency that this world desperately needs. In a society obsessed with noise, appearance, and superficiality, you bring depth, peace, and truth, and that makes you rare. But being rare can be lonely. It can feel like you're walking a path no one else sees, speaking a language few understand, craving a connection that feels just out of reach. You might even question yourself, wondering, why am I like this? Why do I feel so much? Why do I see what others ignore? The answer is simple, but powerful. Because you were born to awaken. You were born to lead. You were born to elevate. You are not here to blend in. You are here to break cycles. You are not here to shrink. You are here to shine. You are not here to conform. You're here to transform. But to fulfill that mission, you must start treating your energy like the sacred force that it is. That means setting boundaries. That means walking away from chaos. That means saying no to anything that tries to dim your soul. You can no longer afford to leak your light into people, places, and patterns that do not honor your growth. You must protect your peace like it's your lifeline, because it is. Let go of the need to be understood by everyone. Let go of trying to prove your worth to those who can't even see their own. Let go of shrinking just to make others comfortable in your presence. When your energy is rare, it won't always be accepted, but it will always be felt. And those who are meant for you, your soul tribe, your divine connections, your true alignments, they will recognize your light not because it shouts, but because it radiates. They will feel your energy without needing an explanation. They will value your presence not because of what you do, but because of who you are. So keep showing up as your highest self, even when the world doesn't get it. Keep healing, even when it's exhausting. Keep believing, even when the path feels unclear. You are not lost. You are being refined. You are not too much. You are more than enough. You are not here by accident. You are here by divine assignment. Let your rare energy be your compass. Let your soul lead. Let your light speak louder than your words. And remember this always. You don't need the crowd to validate your soul. You just need the courage to walk alone until the right ones find you. Because when your energy is rare, it's not meant to be everywhere. It's meant to be sacred.